Audi's RS models have always had a special place in my heart, whether it's down to the way they look, that amazing engine soundtrack, or the blistering performance. Cars like the RS4 from the mid-2000s, the latest RS6 and RS7, there's just something about them. You want to get in them, drive them, and they are the lottery-winning cars. Now, when Audi threw me the keys for the latest RS5, I couldn't exactly turn it down. I'm a huge fan of the S5, and with even more power and tuning by Audi Sport, this really does promise to be something a little bit special. Now, it starts off pretty well. There's a 2.9 litre bi-turbo V6 petrol engine that produces 444 brake horsepower and 442.5 pound-feet of torque. That'll get this from standstill to 62 miles an hour in 3.9 seconds. It then pushes on to a top speed of 155 miles per hour. However, if you go for a dynamic pack, you can raise that to 174. Despite all that performance, it's claimed to return 32.5 miles to the gallon and emits 197 grams per kilometre of CO2. Now, the power is distributed in two ways. One through the 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox, which has got flappy pedals and can be overridden manually down the side as well using the gear lever. You can pop it into sport mode or sequentially change gear. It's also got a permanent quattro all-wheel drive system that splits the power 40-60 front to rear. The RS5 has an amazing amount of curb appeal. It looks stunning in any car park and in any situation where you position it. Walk away and you'll have to have a glance over your shoulder, whether it's the widened wheel arches. This is 19mm wider than the standard car, the lowering, the trim, those big two exhausts at the back, or that shouty nose at the front. It really does tick the essential components to be a poster on a schoolboy's bedroom wall. Now inside, this is a typical Audi and A5, which in one way is really good, in another way is dreadful. It's beautifully put together and it's a very pleasant interior, but it doesn't feel special enough that you're in the RS. You get the RS steering wheel and the seats, but really that's about it. So saying that you get 3-zone climate control, you've got the MMI navigation system and Audi interface, which is all very good. Quite complicated, but once you get it, you get it. And a little scratch pad as well. It's got the digital virtual cockpit, so you can scroll through loads of different menus, have maps, change your priorities, and that is something that really does impress me every time I'm in the car. This model's got the electric seats on it, which have got memory settings as well, so I've been able to get comfortable in the lower seating position. I've got just enough headroom with this panoramic electric sliding sunroof. One problem with this car, it's £60,000 new, and this has got about £15,000 worth of extras on it. And that's made up with head-up display, driver assistance pack, parking pack, red brake calipers, which surely in an RS5 should be standard, 20-inch alloy wheels, the electric seats, LED headlights, storage pack, extended lights, RS exhaust. Need I go on? Bang & Olufsen sound system. There's a lot of things there you'd probably expect should be fitted as standard in here, but they're not, which is a shame. In the back, you've got 2 sculptured seats, which are very comfortable, but with these extra size RS seats, legroom is slightly restricted if you have taller people in the front. Let's get back on the road. Now, out on the road, what really surprises and actually impresses is how comfortable the RS5 is. I expected this to be a bone rattler, really too firmly done, but it's not. It's set up beautifully. Have the drive select mode in auto and comfort, and this cruises along even on the worst roads. If you put it into dynamic mode, it does get a little bit more jiggly, and you might need to have your fillings replaced at some point, but it's not truly uncomfortable. However, it does then manage to combine that comfort with good body control, and with the grip coming through from the quattro system, you can really chuck this into some corners. Now, it doesn't feel light, but it does feel a highly engineered piece of quality kit. So it feels sturdy through the corners, down the road, it's a big, heavy car. But then that doesn't transcend through the corners. It goes exactly where you want it to, and the four-wheel drive grip is sensational. There's a little bit of body lean through the bends if you're pushing on, so it hasn't quite got that dynamic elegance and prowess of the BMW M4. But that's not to say you can't have fun and really push this to its limits. The steering's on the firmer side, but it's going where I want. There's not too much feedback from the road coming through, but it's really accurate and dialed in, and will go on the piece of tarmac that I want it to go on. And that's good, because with all this power, you need to make sure you're going in exactly the right spot at the right time, because it's just electric. It just really takes off. Use the paddle shifters, the gearbox changes gear instantly. Oh, listen to it. It's a little bit squirmy under heavier braking if you're not lined up completely straight. But the power is tremendous. It's like those old cartoons where you had a rocket strapped to the back of a rabbit. It's gone. This is the same thing. The exhaust note's not bad. When you're going along like this and having a bit of fun, swapping through the gears, there's some nice bellowing and deep booms that come from under the rear bumper. But actually it can sound quite wheezy, which is really disappointing, because an RS5 or an RS model should have that godly soundtrack. The RS6 and 7 have it, and they're just magnificent cars, mainly because of how they sound when you floor it. This doesn't quite have that, it's a shame. But what it is, if you've got 60, 70 grand to spend on a performance coupe, and you don't need that cutting edge, right on the limit handling ability of an M4, but you want something that looks absolutely stunning when you park it outside your favourite restaurant, and then you can boast to your mates in the pub or over a glass of wine, 0 to 60 figures, then the Audi makes complete sense. Personally, I'd save some cash. I'd go for an S5. I think that's just as entertaining. But if I wanted the all-out enjoyment of driving, it'd be the M4 every day for me. Thanks for watching Driver's Seat. Do check out our news and reviews, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.